When you hear the word Africa, what comes to mind? For many, it's a single image: dusty villages, struggling families, and endless poverty. But here's the truth: that image is incomplete. Africa is not a country. It's a vast, diverse continent of 54 nations, over 1.4 billion people, and a wealth of cultures, resources, and opportunities. Today, we're going to challenge one of the most persistent myths: the idea that everyone in Africa is poor. It's true that poverty exists in Africa, and in some regions, it's severe. In sub-Saharan Africa, more than 218 million people live in extreme poverty, surviving on less than $2.15 a day. But here's where the myth falls apart. That's not the whole story. Africa is also home to booming economies, world-class industries, and rapidly growing cities. From the skyscrapers of Nairobi to the tech hubs of Lagos, from the diamond mines of Botswana to the vineyards of South Africa, the continent is far more complex than the stereotype suggests. Let's start with energy. In 2013, the majority of the world's new oil and gas discoveries were made in Africa. Countries like Nigeria, Libya, Algeria, and Egypt dominate the continent's gas exports, together producing 9/10 of Africa's annual output. And here's the kicker: Africa's oil potential is still largely untapped. Over the next 2 decades, experts predict significant growth, positioning Africa as a global leader in oil and gas. This isn't just about raw resources. It's about jobs, infrastructure, and influence in the global market. Africa's wealth doesn't stop at oil. The continent is a treasure chest of minerals and natural resources. Diamonds. Africa produces about 46% of the world's industrial diamonds, with Botswana, Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Sierra Leone leading the way. Bauxite. Guinea alone supplies 8% of the world's total, a key ingredient in aluminum production. Platinum group metals. Africa contributes a staggering 75% of the world's supply, most of it from South Africa. Gold. Africa accounts for 21% of global production, with South Africa, Ghana, and Tanzania among the top exporters. Cobalt. Zambia is a major supplier, critical for batteries and electric vehicles. Zirconium, phosphate rock, vermiculite, the list goes on. In 2011, Africa mined 20% of the world's land area and exported 6.5% of the world's total mineral exports. These aren't the numbers of a poor continent, they're the numbers of a resource powerhouse. While some African countries face deep economic challenges, others are thriving. Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, with a GDP of over $594 billion. It's a major oil exporter and a rising economic force. South Africa, home to the 18th largest stock exchange in the world, a diverse economy, and a thriving tourism industry. Egypt, despite recent setbacks, it remains one of the continent's wealthiest nations, with strong sectors in energy, agriculture, and manufacturing. These countries prove that Africa is not defined by poverty alone. Africa is also a hub for innovation. In Kenya, mobile banking platforms like M-Pesa revolutionized financial access. In Rwanda, drone technology delivers medical supplies to remote areas. In South Africa, renewable energy projects are reshaping the power grid. Tech hubs are emerging in Lagos, Nairobi, Cape Town, and Accra, attracting global investment and fostering homegrown startups. The African Continental Free Trade Area, the largest free trade area in the world by number of countries, is set to boost intra-African trade and economic integration. Another damaging stereotype is that Africa is constantly plagued by disease. Yes, the continent has faced serious health challenges, from malaria to Ebola outbreaks. But this narrative ignores the massive progress made in healthcare. Polio has been eradicated in most African countries. HIV infection rates are declining thanks to education and treatment programs. And African scientists are leading research in fields like vaccine development and tropical medicine. So why do these myths stick? Partly because of media bias. Stories of crisis get more attention than stories of success. Partly because of outdated education. Many people still learn about Africa through colonial-era lenses. And partly because poverty and disease do exist, but they're not the whole picture. Africa is not a monolith. It's a continent of contrasts, of challenges and triumphs, of ancient traditions and cutting-edge innovation. To reduce it to a single story of poverty is to ignore its complexity, its resilience, and its potential. So next time someone says, "Everyone in Africa is poor," you'll know the truth. Africa is rich in resources, in culture, in opportunity, and its story is still being written.